This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, we find ourselves in a temple, and we have these keys that we're gonna find and open up different doors to let us into different spots of the temple, and at the same time, we're gonna be running away from the mummies that are in there. Today, we're taking a look at Penny Paper's Adventures, The Temple. This is a roll and write style game. They're releasing 3 of these at the same time. This one is for ages 7 and up. Plays between 1 and 100 players with this base game, or even more if you buy more sheets. Let me show you how it works. I'll see you on the other side. The game comes with 100 colored sheets that are double-sided and 3 special dice. Now, you can play with this as many people as you can get. Now, it comes with 100 sheets, but you can buy extra sheets, so it's literally unlimited to how many players you can play with, because one player is going to be rolling these dice, and everybody's going to be making some decisions, and nobody gets any advantage if they're the person that rolls the dice. So, let me show you how the game works, but before I show you what's going to go and the different type of choices you're going to make, let's show you what you're trying to accomplish. Over the course of the game, there's 3 different ways you're going to score at the bottom of your score pad. The first one is you're going to get 1 point for each contiguous consecutive number. So for example, if we look at this example here, we have a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 9 consecutive numbers, so they would get 9 points. Now in this game, adjacent is anything that's surrounding it. So as you can see, you can go diagonal. The second way to score is you'll get 3 points for each grouping of the same number that you have at least 3 of. So here we have a grouping of 3 adjacent 2s. We have 3 adjacent 4s, 3 adjacent 5s, 7s, 9s. Now you can only group each number once, so if I had another group of 2, it wouldn't count, just one of these. So this player gets 15 points because they had 5 different groupings. Then we have mummies. You'll get either positive or negative 2 points for each mummy. Now, if a mummy is by itself and not surrounded by the number 9, it is going to be minus 2 points. However, if you've been able to get a 9 anywhere surrounding those mummies, you get to cross them off, and therefore each of those are positive 2. So this player had 1, 2, 3, 4 crossed off mummies, 1 non-crossed off mummies, so this player got 6 total points. You add them up, that's 30. That's what you're trying to do over the game. So how does this work? When any one player rolls the dice, everyone gets the same choices. You can take any one single die. So you can take the number 1, 3, or 4. Or you could take any 2 dice together. So you could take 3 and 1, which is 4, 4 and 3, which is 7, or 4 and 1, which is 5. Or you could take all 3 added up. That's 7, 8. So those are all your different choices that you can take. In this case, let's just take the 1, and we're going to just place it anywhere that is an open spot that does not have a door. These door spots are special. I'll talk about those in just a moment. So let's say the next die roll looks like this, and I decide just to take, hey, this single 2, and I kind of put it here. Now you could put it in, again, any empty spot. You don't have to go adjacent or anything like that. Let's say I get this, and I start putting another 2. I take this 2 because I want to start getting those groupings of the same 3 types. And let's say the next roll is this, and I take a single 3. Now I'm starting to work on that contiguous one. So that's what you're thinking of, trying to group numbers together adjacent and getting things contiguous. Now what if you roll a special thing like a key? That's the only time that you'll use the key to get into one of these doors. You basically could take either one of these dice, a 4 or a 3, or add them up, 7, and you can put them in any door that doesn't have a number. Maybe I put it a 7 right here, add these 2 up, thinking I might go 4, 5, 6, 7. I can start getting that contiguous thing planning forward. Now let's say I roll this penny. You can write any number between 1 and 15 into any empty non-door spot. Maybe I write a 9 in here. Now, the person rolls a mummy, you ignore all the other dice, and the rules say you're supposed to take your sheet, you're supposed to actually write your initials here, you throw them in the middle of the table and everyone randomly takes one, and when you take one, you're going to draw a mummy on any open non-door spot. And so this player might I just draw my mummies like that because I'm terrible at drawing. And you would give it back to that player. I find that to be a little bit cumbersome. I like to either just pass them to the left on one game and then pass them to the right the next time you play. And that's pretty much how you play the game. Now remember, this mummy's here, so I'm going to try to get a 9 here later by adding up some dice. Because remember, if you get a 9 next to here, it's positive 2 points versus negative 2. I'm working on trying to get consecutive numbers adjacent, and I'm working on trying to get 3 groups of the same number. Each time I do those, you get 3 points. You add them all up, whoever has the most at the end is the winner. Now I told you the back of these sheets are double-sided, but they actually are a different puzzle, which is a great touch because you're playing the same game, but it does feel different because the layout is different. Now, since all three of the penny papers are releasing at the same time, I am placing links in the description because I've reviewed all the other ones and sort of compared and contrasted them quickly in an Allegro quick 2-minute style video. Now, for the Temple, I love the big dice in this. They're big and chunky. Now, they're lighter wood dice, but I like that they are really large because a lot of times you're gonna be playing these games with a lot of people and you can see them very easily. I like the sort of simple entry-level aspect of this roll and write game. I would say that this one has about the complexity of, say, Quix, Qwixx, which tends to be a very popular roll and write game. It was even nominated for the Spiel des Jahres back in the day, so it's about that level. It's very light. It's very good for people that have either never played or have maybe only played Yahtzee from dice-style games, because it's very light and easy to get into, but there's great decisions to be made. I love that this can be played up to 100 people simultaneously in the base game, and you can buy extra pads of paper to play with hundreds or infinite amount of people. Now, I really like that because recently I started a series called Gaming on Purpose, where I'm starting to go in and find opportunities in the community to be able to both get behind nonprofits that are doing good work and help go in there and work with the kids with games. And we did that with Wits and Wagers, and this would be a good one where I could roll the dice on camera, let everyone else see it. So that'd be really cool. I put a link below of that video as well. I like the sort of special dice faces. So you have the key, you have penny, and you have the mummy. And based upon those things, you're doing different things where you're trying to get into the different locked doors, or whether you're writing mummies on other sheets. Now, I like that because you're trying to mess with other people and you're trying to get them negative points by doing that. Now, speaking of those mummies, I think it's cool that, hey, people are trying to mess you up and you're trying to get you negative points, but if you get a 9 there, you're going to turn that into positive points. So I like that about that. So overall, I think the game's good. It's a simple, easy roll and write, easy to teach, plays as many people as you want to play. You can really teach this to anyone. It's very light and I like it. I like that you're trying to do a few different things at once. You're trying to string together long consecutive numbers, and you're also trying to make groups of at least 3 of each of the different numbers, try to get those points. So it kind of gives you some different things to think about, different things to work on. I like the double-sided sheets, because again, those will give you just a different layout, a new little puzzle. And the solo aspect works well. I've played it solo many times, and sure, there's nobody writing on your board for the mummy. You essentially are writing it adjacent to your last number, but it works well. So anything negative, anything I didn't like about the game? Well, the name itself, Temple of whatever, it's a hard to pronounce name, and when I tried to Google it and see what it was, it looks like it's probably a made-up name, possibly, because I couldn't find anything else about it other than referring to penny papers. I wish they would have just made it a temple of something that was interesting and something that was easy to say. So a small minor quibble there. Also, the other thing I didn't like about the game is the mummy sheet swapping rule. They say basically put them all in the middle, randomize them up, pass them back, write it, and then give it to each player. I mean, if you're playing with this with more than, say, 3 or 4 people, that gets pretty crazy. It causes a lot of confusion, and it really slows the game down. So we just basically pass them all to the left for the first game, pass them all to the right for the second game, so on and so forth. And that seems to work out. But overall, if you're looking for a light roll and write entry-level style game that you can play with more people than most, this is definitely a good one to pick up. I'm definitely going to be adding to my gaming library. It's going to get a saxophone serenade because, the Quixes of the world that are great, this is a great one too, but this one allows you to play with more players than normal. So because of that, it kind of hits that niche, and it's going to be joining my gaming library. So let's induct it properly with a saxophone serenade.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.